Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to do a small build. So if you watched my video a couple days ago, you'll know I took a slight sabbatical, but I am back. I appreciate seeing all your comments. You guys are so great. I love everybody here. You guys really do make this worth doing, so I really appreciate all the support I get from you guys. But I got some suggestions here, great suggestions. I'm going to have some more videos coming in the future. Hopefully I can get back in the role here. I'm energized, I'm excited, I got some good ideas, and I'm ready to get back into YouTube after my short break. So recently I've been working on my car garage. It's going to be more of a tire shop, and I need to build a key part of it. So if you watched my summer challenge stuff, you know I did this boat hoist here. If you want to watch that video, I'll post it here as well as at the end of the video. And that was a lot of fun to build. Took some cool usage of these bar pieces to make that work out. And now I need to build a different kind of lift. But this lift, however, is going to be for cars. So this is how far I've got on my tire shop. This is going to go next to my gas station, kind of behind it, right next to the car wash. And I've got some pretty decent progress made here. I've already started putting some tires upstairs in the loft. I'm really working on the interior here. A lot of work to do yet, just putting in details and stuff. But I am missing a key part here. I need a lift for cars so they can pull in, get hoisted up, and change their tires. So I have used a road plate here for a nice smooth surface with some attachment points, and it's working out pretty good. So let me show you what I came up with here for a lift. Now, I am not a car mechanic, have never been one, and likely will never be one. But I have spent a significant amount of time in car dealerships. I did about 4 years selling cars, so I've been around this stuff a bit. I know what they look like. I did do some searching on the internet to kind of get some better pictures, and for some reason they're always blue. But anyway, here is the base. Basically, it's a replica of in there. I'm just going to build it out here so you can see it better, and then I'll transfer it into the mock itself. But this is basically the layout here. On these sections, I put in some vents, where oil or water or fluids can drip down into and not make a slippery floor. And right here on these two portions is where the lift is going to mount. Now, the first thing I need is two upright arms, a cross piece, and then something to hold the car. And I'm going to show you how I built this. So, as I said, blue seems to be the choice color. Now this first step here uses a lot of jumper plates, and I did not have a lot of jumper plates in standard Lego blue, which seemed to be the right blue. So I did these in the more navy dark blue, and I actually like how it looked. It kind of looked like highlights, because you've got a lot of angles on this thing. And so I think I'm going to stick with them. I thought about ordering blue ones, but I'm actually quite happy with these. I think I'm going to leave them dark blue. Anyway, what I'm doing here, I have two tiles. I have a 6 long and an 8 long, and I'm just putting jumpers on the back side here, going the entire length of both of these tiles. You'll see what purpose this will serve in a second. An easy way to straighten these all out, just press them on the table, and you can get them all nice and aligned. And this is going to make the outside of one of the uprights for the lift. Next, I need to make kind of the central core portion. And this is how I decided to do that. So I'm using these brackets here, the old bumper pieces, which are super handy. And I'm just going to line a bunch of these up. So the first one here, I'm going to take this 6 long tile, and I'm going to put a one right next to it. Then I'm going to attach an 8 long tile and put one there. So we have 3 of them in a row with a tile on the outside. On the other side, 8 long tile first. We're going to skip the first 2 spots. We're going to put another one next to that. And then our 6 long tile. And then a final one here. So they're kind of actually the same thing, but we're going to flip it. So they're going to come together like this. And this is where these portions come in. So basically, this having the jumpers will allow it to attach right down the middle here, like that. And like that. And so there you can see I actually really like the dark blue because it gives it some nice accent. It's not too dark like black, and the gray would be too distracting. It wouldn't look blue anymore. So I really like how that turned out. I'm going to leave it there. So that is one side of the lift. Now it's not done yet. I still have to fill in kind of the inside here. First thing I need is something at the top here that's going to hold the crossbar across the top. The way I'm going to do that, I have a small bracket here. That is going to go right here to attach this final portion, just like that. I have a D-snot piece, which I'm going to put facing upward. And then I'm going to take a 1x1 round with open stud, and that's going to go right here. And you'll see the purpose of that in a second here once I get the other side in here. And now we need a central portion. I needed something I could grab clips onto, so I decided to use a bar. This bar in particular worked really well. So this is going to attach right down the middle. I'm going to skip one spot in the top there, and it's going to go down just like that, right down the middle. And I think it looks really nice just for greebling too. It was actually more functional than anything, but it looks really good like the inside of a lift probably would look. Next, I'm going to get a couple more 1x1 rounds with open studs, a gray, dark gray jumper plate, and I'm going to stick this right on the bottom here. And that's what's going to attach it to the floor. And I like that these two kind of look like a spring or a bumper for when you get to the bottom of the lift. Now I've made a second one of these, and they are identical, but they're flipped. So you can see that the empty gaps are opposite here. I did that so I could kind of face that toward the back. So if you do look inside, you're going to see this, not that. So basically this will be the front. We're going to put these on the left and right there. And that is the start of our car lift. Now you'll notice I did leave some studs on the outside of the left one here, and that is for the controls. Now I looked at lots of different printed pieces, and this was the one I actually liked the most. And this is, I think, from some old space stuff or something themed. It's not really a city part, but I liked it because, number one, it's yellow. These lifts are always blue or often blue, and they tend to have yellow arms so that they're more visible and you don't run into them. And this kind of looked like a kind of a lever you could raise or lower with, a few basic selectors down here. And when I put the arms on that are yellow, it'll make more sense. But I just put that on the outside there so that a tech can come up and raise or lower the lift. And then this here just looks like maybe the electronics run down that into the floor. And only on one side. And then across the top here, you know I left these 1x1 rounds with open studs. These lifts have a crossbar, but they usually, or pretty much always, have a safety feature in there, both for the vehicle and for the people operating the lift, where they put a wire across this. Sometimes it's like a rubber bumper type thing, a cord. Sometimes it's just a literal wire. But the point of that is if the car gets too high, it hits that and automatically shuts the lift off so it doesn't damage the car or the people below. So I put that in there. It's just a piece of flex tube that I cut to length. And then with a couple more tiles and plates, I made a piece to just span the top of this. And it lines up very nicely there. And that completes the frame of the lift. Now we have the frame down, we still need arms in here. And that's where these bars come in because I wanted to be able to clip onto them. And this is what I came up with. I played around with a lot of designs. Everything looked kind of bulky or ugly or just too fragile. But then I came up with this design and I'm really happy with it. Let me know what you think. So we start with a Technic, one of these 90-degree Technic connectors. And then two of these look like the lift pads, maybe you'd call them. Just like that. And then I just needed a way to connect this in here on both sides. Now when I build, I'm not the biggest on play features. I know I've been meaning to do a whole video on play features versus detail. I build more for detail. Now play features are great if I can incorporate them and still get the level of detail I want. But to me, detail comes first, play features are always secondary. It's totally fine if you're the opposite. Everyone Legos differently and that's your own right to do that. But me, I personally like detail over play features. So we have this. Now keep in mind, if you have a different car, you may need a different shape, or maybe when they're down, they're just loose and you could have them in different positions. So here's a second one in that same position, but you could also use these wider angles if you want them to look a little bit wider. So you can do them kind of mismatched. You know, if this was on a real lift, these would move independently of each other. So they might not stay at the same angles on both sides. Now for lifting a car, you probably want to do the same on both sides. You can make two of any of these, depending on how it's going to fit the car you want to display up there. But again, this is about detail more so than play features. Now I needed a way to connect these, and I found two ways. I like both of them, but I'm going to tell you which one I'm going to use. And first one would be to take a connecting pin like this, stick it in the middle, take a clip, put it on top. This is going to allow this to move freely, and then you can clip this inside. Now the reason I don't love this, I do like that it moves, and that's a great play feature, but it is kind of weak, both with only one clip, and the connection between here is not the strongest right there. So I think that is the most detailed one, but it's not super strong. So I'm actually going to use these on my final one here, and I have two more ways of doing this. Number one, just simply take the clip, put it upside down, and when you put a Technic piece on a stud like this, you could hear that. It's a very tight connection. So this is way stronger than using that stud. Now it won't rotate, but the clip will rotate on the bar. So that's the way I like the most. Now let's say you're doing this more permanent and having a car up in the air, and you just want to display it as a model. You can take two of these and do an over-under. Just like that. It'll be extra strong. Now with my design, you won't be able to go all the way to the bottom with this, or not even close to the bottom, but for display purposes, you could have this kind of right in the middle with a car on it, or just up. I don't know if I'm making this up in my head, but I want to say when I worked in the dealership that it wasn't uncommon for the techs to leave the arms up. And I think it was more of a safety thing so that you would not trip on them. If you're a mechanic working in a shop, if that rings a bell and sounds correct, let me know in the comments. If I'm just crazy, that's understandable too. You don't have to leave that in the comments. So I want to say they used to, at least some of the dealerships I worked at, would leave these up so that they wouldn't trip on them. But I might be wrong about that. And of course, then they lower them down when they put a car on it. But anyway, that's the design I came up with. I really like how it looks. And you can raise and lower these pretty freely. That's all the way down, even though it doesn't go all the way to the ground. Normally you would drive a car and swing these arms under it, get them in the right position, and then lift it up. So they don't necessarily have to go all the way to the ground. But ideally, I'd have them a little lower. I could put some 1x1 rounds in here to make it lower, but I'm pretty happy with it, how it sits there. Two things remaining. I need to put it in the shop now, and I got to put a car on it. So let's go ahead and do that. Basically, I just got to pull these jumpers out of here. Hopefully I can do this all in one piece. Get that out. Lower it down in. And there's my auto lift. Now this is going to be a smaller shop. It's going to be like a tire shop, tires and oil changes, one stall, nothing big. It's not going to be a big giant garage with lots of bays, just one bay. And I'm working on detail on here, and it's going to improve, and I'll do a reveal when I'm done with it. But I think that turned out pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get a car and put it on there. All right, I didn't prepare for this in the video. I thought I had everything ready, and I didn't. But I grabbed this car, which conveniently already didn't have any wheels on it. So I think that'll work pretty good. I'm going to raise these up just a little bit. Hopefully the spacing is good. Like I said, I did not prepare for this part. So you're seeing this in real time. Are these wide enough? Are they strong enough? No. All right, this design is not going to work so well for displaying a car. So what does that mean? We need to adapt. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to add a second clip on each of these arms so we can put a car on it. Not totally sure if I'm going to display this with a car on it or not, but I would like the option to be able to do so. Another cool feature about these arms I forgot to mention is you can pull these out a bit, so they're kind of extendable, which I'm going to do because this car is skinny. I should have done a 6-wide car. Oh well, it's just a test. I'll reveal it in the end with this when the shop is done, And maybe I'll have that part worked out better then. Yeah, these two clips are definitely going to be stronger. Oh boy, that wasn't good. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. Not bad. If I was going to display this like this, I would definitely put a little bit more effort into making this stronger. That looks pretty good. Well, I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do more just like this in the future. That's all I have for this time, and we will see you next time.